Well, good Thursday morning. A lot to talk about in terms of the strong winds as well as rain that we're seeing across parts of South Central. Now, while most locations really just dealing with some widespread rainfall right now, we're going to gradually see those winds increasing into the afternoon and evening hours. Now, in terms of what we're seeing in some of those higher elevations, this is a live look overlooking Eel River Valley. You can see those winds already beginning to shake as those or the trees already beginning to shake as those winds increase, and then that rain at times already being heavy across parts of South Central. That is going to continue to be the trend for at least the first half of the day. Now, looking outside, we are seeing those temperatures in the Anchorage Bowl sitting in the lower 50s. At the airport, wind's not much of an issue, up to 6 miles per hour. That will change. We're going to see peak winds across South Central, likely anywhere from about 12 to 4 p.m. That's where we're going to see some of our higher winds gusting upwards of 20 to 40 miles per hour with some locations in those higher elevations. Think the Anchorage hillside, Eagle River Valley, where we could see some of those gusts upwards of about 50 miles per hour. So that is what we're going to be watching through the remainder of the day. You can see widespread rainfall all across South Central from Prince William Sound down through Kachemak Bay and then through the valley, although out towards northern portions of the Susitna Valley as you head to the foothills of the Talkeetna Mountains. Not as heavy when it comes to that rainfall, but you can see we're still holding on to that light rain and temperatures holding in the upper 40s and the lower 50s. So heavier rain to the south. Homer is already approaching an inch of rainfall, and this is just since midnight. Seward nearly half an inch, as well as Portage, while the western side of the Kenai is seeing up to a quarter of an inch of rainfall. And then you can see as you shift further inland, the rain intensity, it is decreasing some, but all of us seeing the impacts from this storm, and the greatest impacts are really going to be felt in the form of those winds, which could cause some power outages across parts of the Anchorage Bowl. If you think back to last weekend when we saw those winds 30 to 50 miles per hour sustained for several hours, that's what we're going to see in terms of those wind gusts for our Thursday. So if you have any plans to head to the fairgrounds for the Alaska State Fair today, you will encounter some of those strong winds as well as that rain that's going to stick around for most of the day. I haven't seen any reports that they've called it, but due to what we saw this past weekend, would not be surprised if the Midway was closed as those winds do kick in later today. The good news is, notice the rain on the back side of that. It is tapering off, so we're really not going to see this heavy rainfall all day long. It's going to be for the first half of your Thursday. And then as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, we're really going to begin to see some of this rain lighten up. The winds, though, those will stay with us. This is all thanks to the remnants of what was Typhoon Damri that did affect extreme eastern parts of Japan several days ago, weakened significantly as it pulled off to the north, but per usual with some of these storms, it phased with an upper level trough that has been digging southward through the state, and that helped it to briefly strengthen out towards the Aleutians. That's why we've seen winds gusting upwards of about 60 miles per hour for Cold Bay, King Cove. You can see King Salmon winds up to 50 miles per hour. Adak yesterday saw winds up to 60 to 65 miles per hour, but those have subsided as well. You can see those winds beginning to shift back out of the west-northwest as you head across the western Aleutians. So for today across South Central, temperatures are likely going to stay in the mid to upper 50s for a good chunk of your Thursday. But when those winds towards the afternoon hours, as they kick in out of the southeast, you know that those are typically our rain shadow winds, the winds that help dry us out some and warm us. Well, with the amount of moisture that we have with this system, it's looking more likely that we're still going to see some rain showers, more in the way of sprinkles, if not some light rain, but the winds are going to kick up, and then the rainfall intensity should die down for areas that see some of those stronger winds. So what are we talking about in terms of those winds? This morning, we're already beginning to see some of that activity beginning to build back in terms of those wind speeds gradually increasing. Notice this afternoon, between the hours of 12 and 4 p.m., You see those colors of purples, those as well as looks like we could have some light pinks mixed in with that. That's where we're going to see our peak wind gusts. So between the hours of 12 to 4 p.m. today, we're talking about winds anywhere from 25 to 40 mile per hour wind gust. Out towards the hillside, we could see gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And then for the for the fairgrounds out in Palmer, expecting to see some of those winds up to 40 miles per hour as well. Now further west into Wasilla and along parts of the Parks Highway, shouldn't see any significant winds. We're likely going to see winds max out at 25 miles per hour for you. Winds subside into the evening, and by subsiding, I mean they're going to drop down to about 20 to 30 miles per hour. We're going to say goodbye to those peak wind gusts, upwards of about 40 to 50. So that's the good news in terms of the winds as they gradually subside into our Friday as well. And then by this weekend, we're actually going to see some calmer conditions into your Saturday. We're going to see the potential for some drier weather as well. So looking at the radar itself, you can see through the rest of this morning into the afternoon hours, we're going to see that rain gradually taper off and become more scattered in nature later this afternoon as those winds kick in. And then looking into Friday, Thursday night into Friday, yes, we're going to hold on to some shower chance with us, but nothing as widespread as what we're already seeing now. How much rain are we going to be talking about? Well, 1 to 3 inches for coastal regions from the Kenai out towards Prince William Sound. The greatest extent of that rain will fall in Prince William Sound. And then from the Anchorage Bowl into the valley, we're going to be seeing anywhere from about ½ an inch to an inch of rain. So certainly still a lot to be talking about considering the fact that we've been dealing with some flood watches for most of the week. So precip chances after today, they begin to dwindle off. You can see by Saturday, likely going to be one of the better days to head to the fair for the last few remaining days. And then we're watching another band of rain, which could be heavy at times as we welcome in your Labor Day weekend, Sunday into Monday. So yes, this chance for rain stays with us as we welcome in your September. So for today, we'll see highs in the upper 50s for South Central, mid to upper 50s, 66 in Fairbanks. The extent of these winds will also be felt in the interior, where we have some wind advisories as well as high wind warnings along parts of the Alaska Range. That's where winds from Delta Junction to Healy could gust as high as 65 miles per hour. Out towards southeast, winds not much of an issue today. We're talking about 20 to 25 miles per hour, while the slope we'll see fairly quiet conditions with highs near 50. And then that 7-day forecast beyond today, yes, we're going to hold on to the breezy conditions. Yes, showers are still with us, but nothing like what we're going to see this afternoon with those gusty winds. 60 degrees Saturday, again, shaping up to be a nicer day with just some isolated rain showers before more widespread activity kicks in. Sunday and Monday, daily highs as we welcome in the first week of September, will be holding near 60. One more look outside. Again, you can see those winds already beginning to increase in some of those higher elevations. If you live along the Anchorage hillside as well as Eagle River hillside, don't be surprised if you see winds gusting in excess of 45 to 50 miles per hour as we continue to watch the system unfold through the day. We'll have more on this coming up at noon as well as into the evening newscast as well. For now, stay safe and enjoy your Thursday.